Did you know? The richest 1% of people hold more debt than the other 99% combined? In fact, global studies show that the wealthiest households consistently carry the highest levels of debt, not just in total dollars, but often as a percentage of their assets. This isn't a recent trend, it's a pattern that has accelerated over the last few decades. This might sound completely backward, right? It goes against everything we're typically taught about money. Most people are taught that all debt is bad. We are told to avoid it at all costs. We are told to pay off our high-interest credit cards and personal loans as fast as we can. And for most people, that's actually sound advice. That's because this is bad debt, money borrowed for things that lose value. But the rich don't follow this advice blindly. They understand the crucial difference between that and good debt. They do the opposite. They actively seek out debt to buy assets that grow in value or generate income. They use it daily to build empires and increase their fortunes. This is a core secret that separates the wealthy from everyone else. They view money and debt through a completely different lens. Where most of us see a chain and a source of constant stress, the rich see a powerful tool and a financial lever, ready to be pulled. Let's start with the basics. What is debt? In simple terms, debt is money you borrow and promise to pay back, almost always with interest. That interest is how the lender profits from the transaction. Because of this, many people conclude that all debt is bad. But that's a dangerous oversimplification, a real wealth trap. The truth is, not all debt is created equal. There are two fundamental kinds of debt, good debt and bad debt. Understanding the difference is critical. Bad debt buys things that lose value or generate no income. Think high-interest credit card balances for lavish trips, the latest gadgets, or expensive car loans. Bad debt makes you poorer every single month. Now, here's an interesting fact. Studies show the wealthiest households use debt very differently. A large portion of their debt is tied to assets, not consumption. This brings us to good debt. Good debt is used to buy assets that put money in your pocket. The classic example is a mortgage on a rental property. If the rent you collect exceeds the mortgage and all other expenses, that's good debt. But it's not just about real estate. A small business loan to buy equipment that increases revenue is good debt. Even a student loan for a certification that significantly boosts your earning power can be good debt. In these cases, the debt pays for itself, and you profit on top, effectively using other people's money to build your own wealth. So the essential question isn't, is debt good or bad? It's, what are you using the debt for? Now, let's talk about leverage. The reason the rich love debt. Leverage means using borrowed money to increase potential returns. A little of your cash can control a much bigger asset. With $20,000, stocks up 10% earn $2,000. 10% ROI. A rich thinker uses that $20K as a down payment, borrowing $80K. A 10% rise equals $10,000 gain. On $20K, that's 50%. You earn on money that isn't yours. That's the magic of leverage. Spread cash across more deals to multiply cash flow, appreciation, and equity. But leverage cuts both ways. It can magnify losses too. Reason 1. Control big assets with little cash, speed, and scale. Debt accelerates portfolio growth and passive income. Reason 2. Cheap money. If return exceeds interest, you pocket the spread. Borrow at 4%, earn 12%. 8% spread is yours. Reason 3. Taxes. Investment interest is often deductible, lowering real borrowing costs. Reason 4. Inflation. Fixed debt gets cheaper over time while assets typically rise. You repay with future, cheaper dollars while asset values and rents climb. Interesting fact. Over the past 50 years in the US, median home prices rose roughly 5 to 6% annually, while many fixed-rate mortgages stayed constant, amplifying owner wealth through leverage. Let's dive deeper into using debt as a shield. Earn $20,000 in rent, pay $8,000 interest. Taxable income becomes $12,000. Add $7,000 in depreciation. Taxable income drops to $5,000. Positive cash flow, minimal taxes, legally. Inflation punishes savers and rewards borrowers with fixed-rate debt tied to hard assets. Payments stay flat in nominal terms while income adjusts upward. Interesting fact. In many decades with inflation spikes, real estate owners with fixed loans saw real payment burdens fall while market rents trended upward. The rich borrow long-term at fixed rates to own inflating assets, turning taxes and inflation into tailwinds. This sounds powerful and risky, and you're right. The rich are calculated risk takers with systems and rules. Rule 1. Insist on day one positive cash flow. Cash flow is your safety net during downturns. Do your homework. Verify numbers. Plan for vacancies and repairs. Keep reserves. Avoid high-interest variable debt. Prefer long-term fixed rates for stability. Build lender relationships and a track record. Better terms, lower rates, more flexibility. Interesting fact, large corporations routinely use fixed-rate bonds to lock costs for 5 to 30 years, matching debt to cash-flowing projects to control risk. So, what does all this mean for you? It means it's time to start thinking like the rich. This isn't about earning more overnight. It's about fundamentally changing your relationship with money and debt. First, shift your mindset. Learn to distinguish good debt, which buys you assets that generate income, from bad debt, which only buys you liabilities. Your financial education is the one asset no one can ever take away. Ready for a practical plan? Here's a 5-step checklist to get you started. 1. Audit your current debts. List everything: credit cards, car loans, student loans. 2. Aggressively pay down your high-interest, bad debt to free up cash flow. 3. Start small by saving for a down payment. 4. Explore accessible investments like a simple rental property or a real estate investment trust, ARE. 5. Practice analyzing the numbers. Now, let's make it a habit with a 7-day practice plan. Spend 30 minutes each day this week analyzing one potential deal online. It doesn't have to be perfect. Your goal is simply to get comfortable with the key metrics: cash flow, return on investment, and cash-on-cash return. Repetition builds competence, and competence builds confidence. Remember, debt is just a tool. In skilled hands, it's a powerful lever for building wealth. But in unskilled hands, it can be incredibly destructive. The difference is knowledge and practice. You now know the rules the rich play by. The path won't be easy, but it is clear. Start today. Make debt work for you, and take your first real, educated step toward building the financial future you deserve.